The Lancet Medical Journal recently published a study on long COVID by vaccination status. We will review the findings of the study in this video. The results may shock you. Link to the full paper, published on 17th of May 2024, is provided in the description below. The study looked at the NHS medical records of over 19 million adults in England, from which 55,000 were reported to have long COVID. 14,850 of the long COVID cases were amongst the unvaccinated, seen here in purple, which represents 27% of the 55,000 cases. 40,605 of the long COVID cases were amongst the vaccinated, which accounts for 73% of the total. The study covered the period from November 2020 to January 2023. The majority of the early long COVID diagnosis was amongst the unvaccinated, as no vaccine was available in England until December 2020. The peak of the long COVID cases occurred in January 2022. This just happened to coincide with the winter push of the booster vaccines, which also coincided with the appearance of the Omicron variant. The report also looked at the number of long COVID cases as associated with the dominant COVID-19 variant of the time. From the 55,000 cases, over 30,000 were associated with Omicron, 17,000 associated with the Delta variant, and just over 7,000 associated with the original strain or the early Alpha variant. The Delta and Omicron variants appeared after the vaccine rollout had been established and account for 87% of all the long COVID cases reported in the study. We know from NHS vaccination records that in the period covered by the study, November 2020 to January 2023, that 145 million doses of the COVID-19 vaccine were given to people in England, with 80% of the adult population having received at least one dose. It is therefore important that we look not just at the absolute number of long COVID cases by vaccination status, but also the rate per 100,000, as this gives a true reflection of the data. Reports of long COVID amongst the unvaccinated occurred at a rate of 122.5 per 100,000 persons. For one dose of COVID-19 vaccine, the rate was 156.5 per 100,000. For two doses, it was 204.5 per 100,000. And for three doses or more, the rate was 103.5 per 100,000. So, the vaccination cohort with the highest rate of long COVID reporting was 2-dose vaccinated. The lowest rate was the 3+ dose of vaccinations. The unvaccinated had a lower rate of long COVID than 1-dose or 2-dose vaccinated. It is also important to point out at this time how the study classified vaccination status. Vaccinations were only included after 14 weeks of vaccination, to account for the 2-week immunisation period and also allowing for 12 weeks for the development of long COVID symptoms as a syndrome. This of course means that some persons vaccinated within that 14-week period could be misclassified as unvaccinated or remaining in the previous vaccination dose bucket. The study concludes that it is unclear what role vaccination had in the protection against long COVID. Thanks for watching guys, please like and follow for further videos. Link to the Lancet published paper is provided within the description.